Welcome to In Pursuit 360, and today we are going to talk about the polygraph exam. I have gotten several requests to do a video about taking the polygraph and what can I do to pass it. Well, let's talk about what can I do to not fail it. And here we go. And welcome to In Pursuit 360. Here we go. So, first things first, let's get this out of the way. Hey, we're at 2,700 subscribers, actually just over 2,700. I thank you all very much. I hope that these videos are helpful. A lot of the comments down below are telling me that yes, they seem to be helping some people. That's great. That's what this is all about. How can I help you become a law enforcement officer? So do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get those numbers up. Remember, 3,000. I'm going to give away some challenge coins, but we'll talk about that here in a minute, right? Hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs down. If you have to, leave a comment, though. Let me know why. Let me know what I can do to improve my videos to help you. Please let me know. I take any and all suggestions. Will not hurt my feelings. I don't take this stuff personal. I'm a professional, all right? And then hit that bell notification. You'll know when the next video comes out. So let's talk about polygraph. I got lucky when I started in 1993. The sheriff's office that I applied for had not incorporated the polygraph yet. So that was about 4 or 5 years out for them. So I actually got hired without having to take the polygraph. But the funny thing is that when I was about 21, I applied for another department, a big department, Fairfax County Police to be precise, up in Virginia. And they had the polygraph. I didn't know what to expect. I was paranoid. I was like, oh my God, because you make some stupid decisions when you're a kid, right? I smoked weed when I was 13. I did a shoplifting, a time or two for some stupid stuff. And I was like, oh my God, do the polygraph, they're going to fail me, right? And that's one of the questions that's out there about, I'm nervous about taking a polygraph because I smoked weed. I'm nervous about taking the polygraph because I shoplifted one time, or I got caught, but they didn't call the cops, right? So here's what I'll tell you. So I skipped the polygraph appointment, right? I just dropped out of the process because I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I'd never experienced that before. So while I'm looking for other work, I'm paranoid about the polygraph. So I go apply for an armored car company. And guess what I have to do to get hired there? I had to go take a polygraph. So funny. So I drop out of the police process because I'm paranoid about a polygraph. So I go to work for an armored car company and I'm taking a polygraph anyway. So here's what I'll tell you. Typically, they'll either give you a question sheet. You have to write down all these answers. Have you ever used drugs? Have you ever used marijuana? Have you ever used cocaine? Have you ever used this? Have you ever stolen? What did you steal? When did you steal it? Blah, blah, blah. Right? They ask you all these questions, or they'll do it in an interview. The polygraph examiner will sit there and ask you these questions in person, and then I'll ask you like some little things like, have you ever used illegal drugs? Just yes or no answers. Yes. Well, what kind of illegal drugs did you use? Oh, marijuana. Okay. Did you ever use cocaine? No. Did you ever use heroin? No. Did you ever use this? No. Did you ever use, and then he'll start asking these separate little questions, right? Did you ever steal anything? I don't know. Have you ever stolen anything? I don't think that there's a person on the face of this earth that can say, no, I've never stolen anything, right? So did you ever go into, well, I don't do this anymore. You ever go in someplace and borrow a pen to fill something out, and then you walk out with the pen? I mean, technically, you just stole that pen, right? So have you ever stolen anything? Have you ever taken something that didn't belong to you? How about as a kid, right? As a kid, did you ever take your best friend's red crown and put it in your own box and go home with it? I mean, you see what I'm saying? So some of this is ridiculous, right? But think about it. If it crosses your mind, it will cross your mind during the test. So you might as well answer them now. Have you ever stolen anything? I stole my buddy's red crown in 3rd grade. Okay, yeah, that's not what we're talking about here, so don't worry about that. Have you ever gone into a store and stolen merchandise and walked out without paying for it? No. Okay, fine. Or yes. If it's yes, answer yes. Look, law enforcement agencies aren't looking for people that are perfect, right? They're looking for people that have the right mindset, that learn from their mistakes and move forward, right? The idea is that they don't want people that are perfect. I told them flat out, yeah, I smoked weed. I smoked weed for about a year when I was like 13 years old. And I actually testified to it in court. So answer the questions honestly. And then talk to them afterwards about it. But the trick is, honestly, to passing a polygraph, don't lie. You want to know what the trick is to passing a polygraph. How do I pass a polygraph? Don't lie. Don't lie and don't get excited, okay? Stay calm. Own up to your mistakes. Be accountable. That's the biggest problem we have in this world right now anyway, is people not being accountable for their own actions. They want to blame, see that thin blue line right there? They want to blame that for them screwing up, okay? Be accountable for what you've done. It's not a big deal. Everybody makes mistakes. Just own up to it. You paid your price. Your mom and dad spanked you, grounded you, did whatever. Maybe you got away with it. You feel guilty afterwards? I mean, you can tell them that. Shoplifted a Snickers bar and I felt terrible for like the next 3 or 4 days and, whatever. Just be honest. That's the trick to passing a polygraph. Be honest. So let's get into some other things about taking a polygraph. Your polygraph is scheduled for tomorrow. Either you've answered the questions ahead of time, or you're going to have to go in and talk to them. Polygraph can be anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 hours, depending on how in-depth it is and what department you're applying for and things like that. And it includes the pre-interview and the interview, and then possibly a follow-up if necessary. So make sure you get a good night's sleep. You're going to be nervous, right? And then how many of us actually have a big day planned the next day and we have trouble falling asleep? So I would recommend, if you're applying for a law enforcement job, you should already be trying to get physically fit anyway. Make sure you have a good gym day, maybe early in the morning or in the afternoon, early afternoon, right? Get it so your body's going to wear down a little bit so that you can get to bed at a reasonable hour and get some sleep. So pay attention to that. Get a good night's sleep. I'm telling you, get a good night's sleep, okay? Don't overthink the questions. Don't overthink the questions. If you have a question about one of the questions, ask the examiner. Right? There's going to be that pre-interview, or even if you handwrite the answers, they're probably going to want to ask you about some of them and the way you answered before they even hook you up. And the reason is because they're looking for very specific information or specific questions. So that's your chance. Did you ever steal anything? Yes. Like what? Pen, crown, matchbox car, blah, blah, and they're going to say, okay, so what was up with the crown? What was up with the matchbox car? Right? And then that's your chance to kind of tell them, or you can ask them like, well, I really wasn't sure. I went and took, $5 out of my mom's purse, when the ice cream truck was coming and I never told her. You know what I mean? So, okay, that doesn't count. Or yeah, we want to know about that, right? So ask the questions. Ask the questions about your answers. Is this the answer you're looking for? I wasn't really sure what you meant by this. How far back do you want me to go? Right? Ask the questions and then feel okay about it. Get a good night's rest. Eat something that you know is going to be comfortable. So in other words, if you eat eggs and within an hour, hour and a half, your stomach starts grumbling like you got to go to the bathroom, don't eat eggs the morning of your polygraph test. All right? So eat something that's comfortable. Some, toast or, whatever it is. If you can eat eggs, eat eggs. But have a decent meal so that you're not hungry at the time of the exam. Take yourself a Quaker bar or a protein bar or something like that, something you can kind of munch on before you go in for your test to make sure you're comfortable. You need to be comfortable. Dress in whatever they tell you. Usually they'll tell you business casual, so some khakis and a polo or a button-up shirt. They tell you to wear a suit, but wear one that's comfortable. Make sure you're not wearing, a suit that's so old that, you have to like really cinch in that belt to tighten it up to get them to fit, right? Because if you're uncomfortable, it's going to show in the polygraph test. So just make sure you're comfortable. So get a good night's sleep. Make sure you eat something decent that is not going to mess with your stomach. Have maybe a small snack or something before you actually go into the office to make sure that you stay good. And the clothing that you wear, make sure that it's comfortable. As you talk to the interviewer and stuff like that, and you sit in the chair and they start hooking you up, they're going to put things on your fingers. They're going to put this belt thing around your chest. And it's got all these things. And what it's doing is it's monitoring your pulse rate, right? It's monitoring your blood pressure and all that, trying to see, because when you go to lie, your heart starts to race a little bit, or, you'll take a deep breath like before you answer a question and it affects your heart rate. That's kind of what they're looking for. So they'll ask you like some baseline questions first, like, is your name John Wayne? Yes. Are you X number of years old? Yes. Are you this? Yes. Have you ever this? No. Have you ever that? No. Have you this? Yes. Here's the thing. Listen to the question enough to know how to answer yes or no. Don't let your mind go wander. So in other words, if they told you, no, look, taking that red crown doesn't matter, then okay, good, I've stolen nothing. Okay, the only thing I've ever taken was that red crown. You say it doesn't count, it doesn't count. So you're sitting there and goes, have you ever stolen anything? If you let your mind wander for a second about that red crown and you go, no. Well, now you just wondered about it, and I'm telling you, that slight wondering can affect how your heart rate and stuff is going to react on the machine. And it may show up as an may show up as unusual. Sorry, can't get the word out. May show up as unusual, or it could show up as a lie, right? That's not what you want. So, have you ever stolen anything? No. Have you ever this? No. Just listen enough to know whether to answer yes or no. They're not going to ask you, have you ever stolen anything? Yes. What items did you steal? The polygraph is a yes-no type test. So they are going to ask, have you ever stolen a crown? Yes. Have you ever stolen money? No. Have you ever stolen a pen from a bank? Yes. Right? And it's not that you're really stealing, right? But you did take the damn pen from the bank and walked out with it. So if your mind is working that way and you wrote it down or answered it in that pre-interview, then keep that in mind. But what I'm trying to tell you is concentrate on your answers so that you know whether to answer yes or no, and just yes, no, 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 yes, yes, no. Just normal breathing. Normal breathing. Because if you go, as soon as you do that, think about, and then follow your heart rate. It'll flutter, right? So just keep a normal breath. Just listen enough, answer the questions, yes, yes, no, no. Almost kind of like a non-feeling type, unemotional response, right? So there you go. So that's all the advice I can give you for the polygraph. There's no definite 110% guaranteed way to pass a polygraph, other than tell the truth and stay calm. Tell the truth, stay calm. That's it. That's the best advice for passing a polygraph. And any other channel, anybody else that sits there and tells you, well, you can always lie and do this as long as you put a thumbtack in the heel of your shoe so that you're constantly giving yourself pain, and then they won't be able to tell the difference. Forget that crap. Don't play games with it. Just be honest. Be honest, stay calm, be well prepared. Get some good rest, eat a decent meal, and go in confident, and just be honest. And if you need to ask questions about the questions, ask questions about the questions. There you go. That's everything I can tell you about a polygraph. All right, this is the part where I tell you all about GSJJ. GSJJ reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in receiving some custom-made challenge coins so that I could do a review and possibly feature them on one of my videos or a couple of my videos. So I said, sure, why not? Let's see what we got. So I worked with GSJJ. I sent them some pictures. I sent them some ideas for some challenge coins. They reached back. We went back and forth a few times, exchanging ideas. Any delays in the process, quite honestly, were up to me. So I finally reached back out to GSJJ with a final proof approval. They sent me a proof of what the front, and what the back was going to end up looking like. And I'll get you some better pictures without the glare, right? So I sent them these pictures, and they reached back out with the proofs. I approved them, and then they made them and shipped them out. So the shipping took about 2 weeks, I guess, for me to get from the time of final approval for the order, 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere like that. And they actually came out really well. They've got a nice, good weight to them. The paint job is incredible. The badge, I'm going to try to get you a couple of really good pictures with this, but I mean, it's in great detail. So it's a Pentagon police badge, and if you really look at it, each little part is carved out just like the real Pentagon police badge is. So it's engraved, the color is perfect. I mean, they did an outstanding job. So not only am I doing this real quick review for them, which, I mean, the only compensation I got is they sent me 10 of these free coins, which I will be giving away some of them when I hit 3,000 subscribers. But other than that, nothing. They did offer me an affiliate link, which I put a link to down below. That's kind of not really what this is about. They asked me to do a review on it, and I have to say the craftsmanship, the paint, everything seems to be awesome. I mean, it's a good heavy weighted challenge coin. They did a great job with the design. They came out with exactly what I ended up asking for. So I would recommend GSJJ. They have other options out there. Not only do they make challenge coins, they make t-shirts, stickers, lapel pins, all kinds of good stuff. So, hey, go check them out, gs-jj.com, or you can check out the link down below that has my affiliate. So anything you order, get a small piece, but whatever. All right, so go check them out, gsjj.com. Fair enough? Good deal. So in the meanwhile, be safe out there.